seem to, I guess, maybe over-possession may have been the theme of the day, or did you see it differently?
Oh, no, I saw it differently. No, we actually didn't think we possessed the ball enough at times. So, I think it ended up being plus 123 in possession, but never at any stage did we feel that it was over-possession. But we did feel that St Kilda applied exceptional pressure. So that's perfect. That's exactly what you want in your first practice game. And, we suspected they would do that, and they delivered on that. And, I think kicked over 10 goals from basically pressured errors. So they'd be really pleased with that component of the game. And for us, it just looked like a first genuine practice game where you just have really basic turnovers, albeit under a fair bit of pressure. So, but the rest of the game, we're really positive. We had 7 new players in our team today. So to get a look at them, albeit Aaron Hall for less than we would have liked. But yeah, in terms of the numbers and the way the game was played, we're pretty pleased with most of it. But a lot of just the execution and tidying up a few things need some work.
Yeah, I must have said when Aaron Hall goes down, all good. He obviously came back out there. It was just more precaution to.
Yeah. He said, when he came off, he said, look, it's a bit sore, but I'm fine. Doctor said, it's structurally, fine. Went out and played. He just said, look, it's just a bit sore, and I said, well, there's no point continuing. So. A bit of the theme today for us was to put some new guys through the midfield as well, hence the reason not playing Ben Cunnington. We wanted to look at a different defence, hence the reason not playing Scott Thompson. So there's some things that we really wanted to look at that were really pleasing. A completely different looking midfield mix in the second half, and probably from quarter time onwards. So that part of it is pleasing, but we're conscious we've only got one more game to do it. So how we set up next week will be an interesting discussion, because we're still not set on how we want to go in all parts of the ground. But whether we make that decision and pick it as we would for round 1 next week, or we still have a look at different systems, I think there's pros and cons for both.
What was your view of the defence? Obviously, that's the area that's been focused on with the issues, and how confident. Taz seemed very confident that he'll be right to play round 1. He always is.
Yep.
What's your view of that as well? Is he tracking in that direction?
Oh, he's doing everything right. So if he misses, he'll only just miss. But we'll have it. Look, I think he's going to put us in a position where we've got a decision to make. I don't think it's going to be cut and dry that he's out. But he still may not play based on, even though he thinks he's right, we've got to make that decision, because it's a long season. And the focus on round 1 traditionally is always immense. And it's important. Everyone wants to get off to a good start, and there's 4 points on the line. But there's another 21 games in the regular season, so we'll have to make that call on Taz. But I thought that there were some. We threw Nick Larkey back. He did some good things. Ben Mackay was good today. And we look at it a couple of different ways. Clearly, we've got to be able to defend with our back 6. But I thought that McMillan, McDonald, Pittard, Marley Williams, Tom Murphy, they got a fair bit of the ball too, gave us some drive. So that it's not just stopping the opposition scoring, it's creating some ball movement out of the back half too, which potentially not having some bigger guys back there might help us with.
David Uniac, Brad, another step forward for him today?
He played exactly the way he's trained all pre-season. So he's we're excited about his prospects. I think that he's a big part of that new midfield mix that we're looking at. Josh Simpkin through there at various stages. So, while we've had some mainstays in through the midfield, when we bring in Hall and Tyson and Pollock a bit more outside, but Pollock can play inside too. So I think the focus probably in the pre-season has been the guys that we brought in, whereas internally it's as much about the 19-year-old Davies Uniac and 20-year-old Simpkin, and there's I think really good prospects for our midfield, not just this year but for the years to come.
What did you make of your first look at Bailey Scott and Tara Thomas at this level?
Yeah, both did some good things. Bailey's been preparing for this moment for probably about 5 years, so he's going to give himself every chance because he's a thorough professional. Very, very easy to coach. And very rarely with an 18-year-old draftee do you have to tell him once and he does it. So I often say in coaching, telling them is not enough, but with Bailey it is enough. So he was impressive today, did some good things, and Taryn showed his class.
Are either of them in the round one mix?
Yeah, they both are. Yep. I mean, we had to leave some pretty good players out today, even though we rested a few. But we were very keen to see Bailey and Taryn, and they bring a fair bit of what we need as a footy team. So whether they play a lot of footy or a little footy, they'll definitely play some footy throughout the AFL home and away season.
We've only got a small sample so far of games with the 666 and kick-ins and the like, the new rules. What are your observations so far?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's hard to adjudicate. I mean, I think there's time where St Kilda didn't have a winger, for example, so it's like, well, where is he? Look at him. So he's not there. Oh, he's forward. They've got 7 forward of the ball. So, the umpires have got to work out. Goal umpires should be counting how many. But that's the way it is. Our forwards, forwards are different to defenders. I've clearly got a defensive bias playing that part of the ground myself. But it's like you have to keep reminding we need someone in the goal square. So, and last night there were a few free kicks, with that. So, I think that the players are trying to do the right thing. It's just a bit of a teething problem. But I suspect and I hope that it'll go back to, if we see one free kick around for a player out of a starting position, that'll be the average, not one a game or, because it's just, if someone's deliberately trying to slow the game down, okay, fine, but I don't see players doing that. So just hopefully that the umpires are...
You'd like them to be a bit lenient?
I mean, if it keeps happening and the umpires have been instructed to give a warning. But I think all the teething problems aside, I think it's good. I mean, St Kilda kicked, I think, 4 centre bounce goals today. And that's always said as a coach that's going to be a challenge, but for the look of the game, it's good. It's good.
Every game's had a team kick at least 100 points. Do you see that as being, small incremental?
It's really hard to say because pressure will go up come round one. So, but I think what happens, it's very unusual for a team to kick 4 centre bounce goals in a game. So, and we kicked a few ourselves. So, or certainly had opportunities to. So I think that's good for the game. That's good for the fans. I think I like the implementation of it so far, but time will tell.
Just to clarify, Brad, with Aaron Hall's knee, he said it was a bit sore. Is there any concerns with that?
No. It literally, the doctors cleared him to come back on, so he went back on, and then I just spoke to him and he said, "It's a little bit sore." Now, he's an explosive power player, so him hobbling around doesn't help him or us. And my attitude was, why risk him? He's escaped without any structural damage. Let's just make sure he's right for next week.
And none of the other guys, they're all the cops in the war, so to speak.
Well, it would have been challenging in a regular game with 4 on the bench because I think we had 5 off at one stage. So, you're playing one short. I'm not sure how that works with 666.
Are they okay though? Nick Larkey rode the M's fine.
Yeah, he just got a knock. So, he might just got a knock to the nose. So blood rule. Higgins blood rule, Taryn Thomas blood rule. But we don't suspect any sort of ongoing issues with them. It was just today.
Any clear on the forward line mix after today?
Not really, and we didn't. That was a poor part of the game for us today. We had 58 entries and scored poorly from them. And Brownie's playing in. Brownie's got his sort of pre-season mode just about down pat. No one gets himself to the line better than Brownie. So, and he's working with a different crew down there as well. So, as I said, we've got 7 new players who don't understand our system perfectly yet. So, we're going to have to do a lot of work over the next 3 weeks on how we deliver the ball inside forward 50. And the mix as well is important because we're not sure what that looks like yet.
Thanks,
Great. Okay. Cheers.